part two with Justin Pearson, chopping it up hardcore with Hal Capone. Discussion number 75. Yeah, I have to do two-parters now, so it sucks. Let's see if he's on here. Here we go. Let me grab you again. What's going on?
Cool.
Such a pain in the ass. I'm sorry about that.
It's okay.
It's ridiculous. Another thing I wanted to ask about is the Uncle Grandpa voice thing that you did. Of course, I told my kids about it, and they were like, "Did he do belly bag? Was that character?" I'm like, "He didn't do belly bag." Uh, how was that experience? How did you get that gig?
The experience was awesome. I wish I could get like a full-time job doing that stuff. It was so much fun. It was really, really easy. But I got the job because the band, the Manx at the time, the two of the people in the band were the creators of it, and they got the Melvins on there and stuff. They were like just grabbing like other artists and stuff, and so they asked me to be on an episode. Actually, now Tommy from the Manx is in Def Club, but yeah, I don't know. It was just like a dream come true to be able to do that. It was so much fun, and it was so easy, and I I keep putting it out into the universe, like give me another job as a cartoon. Like it was awesome.
Yeah, definitely. And also you were in the Argento movie as well. Can you talk about that too? Because that sounds amazing. I the movie, but how I'm going to. So
Yeah, that was cool too. Her and I had a mutual friend that was a music supervisor, and she just suggested me for a character in the film Incompressa, and so I ended up getting the part due to the Jerry Springer thing I did, and so that was like what got like my foot in the door, and then so I went and acted in the movie, and while I was there, I was like, "What's up with the score? Can I try it? Take a crack at that?" So
yeah,
Luke Henshaw and I and Gabe Serbian did part of the score to the film, and that was kind of what ended up starting Planet B, the band Planet B. I don't want to get off topic, but it was awesome to work with her on that film because I learned a lot of stuff. I watched scenes of a movie getting filmed to a specific BPM. I thought that was really awesome. Things that I never really would have noticed until I was there in doing that, and like like here's the pace of this scene. Walk to this beat, talk to this beat. And it was pretty wild to do that. And then also getting the chance to score it was amazing as well.
yeah. Now, do you have other, acting gigs coming up at all?
No, I wish. It's funny because I had an agent that was giving me stuff, and I was trying to do. I was like reading scripts, like in between tours and stuff, and I was just like, "Fuck, I don't have time to like memorize all this." So I would copy the lines really big and tape them on the wall, and then try to like read it like I knew, like that I remembered it. And I think I was unfortunately half-assing it. I would love to do acting and be an actor. I think I need to. It was just hard trying out because I was like, I'm learning all these fucking scripts that I'm not gonna get the job. Like this sucks. Like
Yeah.
it's like almost like learning a bunch of music that you're never gonna do anything with. And I was like, I just don't have the time for this. So, so I didn't. Where like the cartoon stuff was like a lot simpler, and you get to sit there and read it with the other characters in the same room, and it was very easy. Where like the acting thing, I had to film myself being convincible that I'm like this character that
Yeah.
I didn't really know much about, and that was kind of a bummer. Like I would love to do acting where I kind of have more time to, like if someone said like you can you can have this part, like put the fucking work into it. I will put the work into it. But
Yeah.
it was just too much for like getting these scripts where just like I can't memorize this shit fast enough. Like they would literally say like by Monday, like it's like Thursday night, and they're like by Monday we need to have a video of you reading this, and I'm like I can't do that. You know.
Yeah, I totally understand. Going back to music, on Head Wound City. How did that band get created? You know, with Jordan and how did that happen?
That was sort of like one of the like things that I try to explain with the Locusts, like how we tour with people that were our friends and our comrades. So the Locust toured with the Blood Brothers, and the Locust toured the IES, and then the IES and the Blood Brothers toured. So we all knew each other, and I think we all had like a common admiration for each other as far as artists and as people too. And so, you know, I think Nick always wanted to be in a metal band and kind of was like trying to put. They approached Gabe and I initially as like, we're going to start a metal band, which it never became a metal band. But we were kind of like, oh yeah, we'll do we'll play in a metal band with you guys. That would be fun and easy. And then it never became metal, which is fine. I think it was more organic and we figured it out. But it was basically just like the you know, five of us wanted to hang out and just do something cool together, you know. And it was very casual as far as like, you know, we did an EP and then played one show and then we were not a band for like
10 years.
like 10 years or something, you know. And then we did an LP and then we did like a small tour and then we were like not a band again. So I don't know, like I think we were almost all of us except maybe Cody wasn't there, but we were all at the show in LA. The Locust played a couple weeks ago, and of course, you know, Nick and Jordan are like, we're gonna get the band back together. And we're like, all right, like you guys have like, you know, kids and or whatever, yeah. So we're just like, yeah, call me up. I'm ready when you guys are. So it's not, yeah, whatever. Those guys are funny. They're like, let's just write an EP, like a thrash, you know. I'm like, whatever you want to do is fine. Like, we'll just do it, you know.
Yeah, the sound's a little different. I mean, EP a lot heavier than the, you know, full album that came later. If it ever happened again, would it go back heavier again?
You know, I don't know, because it's strange when we got together. We kind of, I remember going to like the first rehearsals or the first practices where we were like writing the music, and I remember thinking like, you guys, this isn't metal. Like, I thought this was supposed to be a metal band. And it was kind of just like, it was just like thrash, you know? And I was like, and it was fine, but I was like, okay, just make sure we're on the same page. It's supposed to be metal, right? And then the EP kind of just happened, and that was it. And so I think when the LP happened, a lot of time passed, and we kind of, I think as a band, we were more comfortable doing whatever we wanted. And we also had the ability to record and work with a producer and make it a little bit more thought out. Again, it was rushed. I mean, we wrote the record in 2 weeks and then recorded it in another 2. And I think it shows equal parts Locust, Blood Brothers, and Yeah Yeah Yeahs, where like it doesn't, where like I think the EP kind of didn't really get to showcase everybody's style or whatever, you know. And so the LP kind of has a little bit more of that. So if we do something else, I don't know where it'll go, you know. I'm not sure which direction it will go. We're all pretty versatile, and I think we just want to do something that's fun and that sounds cool, and that's all that really cool for us, you know. Like not cool like hip or something, but like we're like, oh yeah, we like this. This is what we'll do. We'll play this music that we like. You know, even like the LP was rushed at the same time because somehow a song that Gabe Serby and I wrote for Incompressa became one of the songs on the Head Wound City record. It was just a weird mix. We kind of changed it a little bit, changed the title, added an extra riff, you know, in it. So I think like we just kind of, it's a weird band. It's weird. Like, it's not like we're, I don't know.
Yep. There's no set style, I feel like.
Yeah. Like, I feel like we have the ability to dick around if we want to dick around, but we're not going to dick around and make something stupid. We can just dick around and make something that we enjoy.
Nice. And also I want to talk about just playing with Ricardo, and like, how's that been for you? How's that been?
Weird. You know, everything kind of like ends up becoming, I don't want to say a mistake in a bad way. Like it wasn't ever thought out. Like, hey, let's do this thing.
Yeah.
It just happened very unconventionally and grew from that, you know? So it's like, yeah, it's all an accident. and it's still, I'm still surprised that we're still functioning. It was just, it was like, never really thought out in long terms. It wasn't like, hey, let's do this thing for, you know, like a real band for a long time. We were just kind of like, oh, this happened. And then that was that.
Nice. And lastly, before I get to rapid fire, I wanted to ask about Cool Keith. So 31G put out a Cool Keith.
Yeah.
Planet B has a song with Cool. How was working with Cool Keith? Because I'm how was working with Cool Keith?
That dude's wild. So I don't want to, I know this is the rapid fire part, but we went and we already recorded the song with them, and when we went to New York, I was on tour actually with Dead Cross, and Luke flew out there. We met with Cool Keith, and we filmed the video of us that we released. And you know, Keith was super cool, and like I had met him a handful of times and stuff, and you know, it was like it took a minute for him to kind of open up, and as soon as he opened up, he went on this long story about. I said, oh, because that night we were playing in New York, and I was gonna see Nick from the AES, and I was like, oh yeah, you know, my buddy Nick from the AES, you sang on a song of theirs, and he like immediately went into this long story about how he hung out with Nick and Nick's mom, and was talking about this brownstone building and all these things, like just this very detailed story about hanging out with Nick Zinner and his mom.
Yeah.
And so I was like, that's cool. That's a fucking pretty wild story. Like, I don't know, like that seems rad. So then later on that night, I saw Nick, and I was like, yeah, like Keith, you know, Keith said he was going to try to come out, but I think he had some other thing going on. And he's like, oh, I really want to meet him. And I was like, wait a minute, what do you mean? Like, he recorded on your record. And he told me this long story about how he hung out with you and your mom. And he's like, I've never met him. And I was like, dude, he told me this fucking crazy story. I mean, it wasn't like crazy. It was just very detailed and long.
Yeah.
And I was like, so you've never met him? That's weird.
Yeah. Is...
He's legit though. Like when you're hanging out with the guy, you're like, what the fuck is happening right now? Like you feel kind of like when you listen to like Dr. Octagon, you're like, what is he saying? Like, what the hell is he actually trying to say here?
Yeah.
You're kind of feel like that when you're in person. You're just like, what the fuck are we even talking about? You know, it was weird.
Yeah.
I think the dude's a genius though. I really do think he's a genius. And I am fascinated with his choice of words.
He just put out like a sounding album with Del the Homo Sapien. Those two together. It just came out maybe a month ago.
Yeah.
It sounds very weird, but like still good.
Yeah. It's next level. I mean, when I first discovered him, I kind of thought like I first heard that the first Dr. Octagon record, and I was like, man, this kind of seems like if the Locust was a hip hop band, like this is what it would be like. We're not really sure what the fuck's going on. It seems very futuristic, and I was like, oh, that's rad, you know. And then I got into like the Black Elvis album and other stuff, you know, from there.
Yeah.
Yeah, the guy's a genius. It was really nice to collaborate with him. I'm grateful that I got that opportunity for sure.
Yeah. Now, were you a Magnetic MC's fan?
Yeah. I mean, that was like, you know, the Voltron of cool hip hop dudes, you know, like it was just, yeah, of course. I mean, that was an obvious one too.
Yeah.
For sure.
Nice. All right. I'm going to start the rapid fire. I'll hold you up too long. My first question always is all-time favorite New punk hardcore band from New England, like Boston, Rhode Island, you know, Connecticut.
Does Drop Dead qualify?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Okay, there you go.
Nice. My second question: what was the first punk hardcore show you attended?
I saw some shows in Phoenix when I still lived there, and I don't remember what the bands were, but my first like real one where I was like, okay, this is the real deal was the Cramps in 1986 in San Diego. Yeah, it was a life-changing show.
Yeah, nice. What was your all-time favorite show you played? bands. So just give like 3 that meant the most to you.
Fuck. That's a really hard one to do. But maybe, and I'm not trying to avoid it, but like this might be a good example of one. And it wasn't even really the show itself, but it was in Baltimore, and it was coming off the stage, and John Waters was there, and he was saying how amazing it was because there were all these young girls up front that were like, they looked like they were 14 and all on heroin, and he said, "You're doing something right if that's your fan base," you know. I was like, I think I'm supposed to say thanks, you know. It was just the most fucked up thing. So it was kind of weird to like have that compliment, you know, but coming from him, like,
Yeah.
that makes a lot of sense. But there was always like, I don't know, man, there's so many shows that were just insane. I mean, even like playing shows with Dead Cross, we would have this alarm noise happen, and as soon as the alarm stopped, the lights would come on and the song would start. And I just would remember there was like the thing that Patton did was like would be just stage dive instantly when the song started, and it was so rad to see this 50-year-old dude stage dive and into an audience that was pretty much like, there was a good chunk of people there that just liked his work in Faith No More and were not expecting him to jump on their heads. And so I was like, this is so rad that he just bums these fucking people out, you know? So like that kind of shit was always cool. I don't know. There's been like so many different, I mean, there's been a ton of shows. I mean, there's a lot. It's hard. That's a loaded question. That's just not easy to answer.
Yeah. No, I with so many bands and so many shows. Speaking on shows, how were the past Locust show, and how is it with the younger people coming up finding Locust? How does that feel for you with a younger audience, Locust?
The shows were great, and they were a lot of fun, and it was one of those things like we did shows with like Sonido de la Frontera, Shit Coffins. So we were really adamant about trying to, this band Therapy also, like we really wanted to get like a cool mix of stuff, going back to like how the Locust, Airborne Radar, and like, you know, we were just like, we have to make it fucked up in a good way, you know. And so it always made it fun for us because we were excited to watch every band, you know. But as far as like the crowd and stuff, I think the band has always been very lucky and maybe cautious of having a diverse audience, and that's not just age, it's like everything. We just want to, we want everyone to be here, like not just like a thing, you know. So I think that was something that we really strive to kind of always have be part of our shows. And so, you know, for instance, I would go to a show and there'd be this 10-year-old kid, and then there would, you know, and his or her parents like brought them to the show, and they're really psyched. It's weird. It's like we look weird and we sound weird. And then there'll be just like this jazz artist that's 70 years old that's there because it's fucked up music and his brain works like that, you know. So it's always been kind of like this, the whole spectrum of people. And also too, I think like it's not to sound like a fuckhead, but like the recent tour was right on the start of you know, the Omicron variant. So we were a bit cautious going and mingling with the audience. And also everybody had masks on. It's hard to tell if someone is very young or whatever, you know. It just, there was a disconnect, unfortunately, because of that. You know, we were trying to be cautious and try to be safe. Responsible. Yeah, we're trying to be responsible.
My next question: what was your all-time favorite hardcore punk show you attended that you didn't play, that you went to see? And what was your all-time favorite for a punk hardcore show that you went?
This is a good one. I was 16 and it was at the Che Cafe, and I think it was, this is some fucked up shit, Infest, Born Against, Rorschach, Downcast, and Chain of Strength. Maybe Heroin too. I don't know. It was fucked up. Maybe Rorschach didn't play. Anyhow, it was like fully stacked, and it was so crazy because I got chicken pox, and talk about responsibility. That shit flew out the window. I was like, I'm going to this fucking show. And I remember giving like Dylan from Struggle chickenpox, and I remember giving like all these people chickenpox because I was like, there's no fucking way. And I just looked like I was a teenager with bad acne, but like fucking Infest, Born Against. Anyhow, it was like crazy shit. I was like, there's no way I'm gonna miss this show, you know. And I remember like, I loved all the bands, but it was like, it was just fucking, it was something else. Yeah, there was a lot of those shows. The Che was pretty important in my younger years growing up. I mean, again, like, you know, I saw fucking Infest there and crossed out like every weekend. You know, it was like there was always rad shit happening there. You know.
Yeah, and the San Diego scene with like Gravity Records, with the Heroin and Angel Hair and Anti and stuff like that. I mean, I can't imagine that scene because it's a different scene in New England. For me, it was like Cave, Converge, Bane, Pot, stuff like that. So, can you just talk about the Gravity Record and how important that was? Were you into those bands? Was it kind of was there any rivalry?
No. That's the one thing about San Diego is like there never really was that kind of like the city is a big city, but it's small enough to where we can't fuck around, you know. And so when I was growing up, like before 31G, the people that I looked up to that were in San Diego were Gravity Records and Vinyl Communications. Those were the two labels that really were kind of on the forefront of doing a lot of stuff. And it was it was you know, rubber stamps and spray paint and covers and like weird shit. And that was really cool and interesting and added an extra element of what is now known as DIY culture. You know, it was before that was a thing, but everybody was friends. So like, you know, I mean, everybody was friends in all of those bands and all those labels. And so there was never negativity. I mean, the only thing that was really negative about that scene growing up was, I remember like Scott Bartoloni from Heroin told me that Struggle sucks and that we should break up. And, you know, that's his opinion and that's fine.
Yeah.
And that was really like detrimental to us, you know, like as young people, we looked up to his bands. And I remember him saying like, he kind of like tried to backtrack and he was like, oh no, you know, there's not that many good bands in San Diego. That's all I'm trying to say. And we're like, what? There's so many good bands in San Diego. And he's like, well, yeah, there's a couple. And he like named like Force Down, you know, Heroin, Into the Line, all the bands that he was in. It was kind of weird. I was like, well, that's a fucking dick move. And whatever, it's fine. But other than that, like nobody was ever weird, or there was never like hostility except from the fucking neo-Nazis. That was the only people. And then, you know, they were not part of the scene. They were not in any bands that I could give a fuck about, you know, but it was like the neo-Nazis would show up, or whatever, the skinheads, you know. So one week they were racist, one they weren't. They were always assholes, so they would show up, and that would be the problem. But it, you know, I think that all the artists in San Diego kind of stuck together and like knew we had like a common goal and a common theme, and we needed to create a community because it wasn't really very easy here to just do stuff. We had to formulate this thing with nothing. You know, we had to like build something out of nothing, and that was really apparent at that time. You know, like going to see Heroin play at the Che Cafe with the 3-piece jazz band and an all-you-can-eat spaghetti dinner. You know, like that's just what you did. You know, and that was really, really cool and fun, and that was a great way to spend, you know, a Sunday night as a teenager. You know.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it sounds like an amazing scene. I'm jealous, you know, because, like I said, my experience, you know, a lot different than what was going on in California. So I'll keep going. I'm a huge movie guy. I watch all the time. What was the last movie you watched?
Fuck. Oh, I saw Licorice Pizza in the theater.
Oh, how was that?
It was really good. I really liked it. I went with my mom. and my partner on Christmas, and it was fun. That was a good movie. Yeah, I don't know. I thought that was a fantastic film. I like going to the theater and seeing stuff. So I've seen a few movies recently, but that was the very last one for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, nice, nice. Yeah, I think my last movie was The Last Duel, that Ridley Scott movie with Adam Driver, Ben Affleck, and I forget who else was in it. It's kind of, you know, like a medieval tale. It was pretty good. Ridley Scott, I like Ridley Scott. It was decent. I mean, it wasn't spectacular, but it was decent.
Cool.
My next question: all-time favorite horror movie for you?
Texas Chainsaw part, you know, the original one. That has to be it.
What do you think about the crap that Netflix put out in the next month or so? A remake of.
I don't know. I kind of saw a little bit about it, but I didn't really dive into it. Like, I don't understand what it's going to be.
Yeah.
I think that I'm skeptical. I mean, look at the fucking Boba Fett piece of shit show that just came out. It's like, man, you guys crap the bed. Like, that's Boba Fett, and you just fucking crap the bed. So yeah. It's like, you want to fuck with Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I don't know. I mean, will they deliver? Because then there's like killer shit that does come out. You know, I mean, there is the capability of making something awesome. And it's just, I wonder if the people involved are doing it because they're like, this will make money, or if they're doing it because like, we got to fucking do this because it's awesome. You know, I don't know. I wonder what'll happen.
I'm skeptical. I'm definitely skeptical.
I mean, there's good shit that comes out right now. Like I'm not, it's funny because I'm going to hate on the Boba Fett thing. I think it's fucking stupid. And I'll keep watching it because like I want to watch it, but it's like really dumb, really bad acting and fucking just dumb. But I also stumbled upon this show called Peacemaker, which I think is
amazing.
Fucking, but it's like watch Boba Fett and then Peacemaker, and you're like, why did the people that made Peacemaker just do Boba Fett? Because this shit is like whack as fuck, you know. Peacemaker's delivering on every level, and I'm not even into like that kind of stuff. But that's the stuff. Like I think there is the capability of it being good. It's just I'm not going to get my hopes up until it happens. When is that chainsaw stuff happening? Do you know?
I think it's in like a month. It's coming up. I saw like a little blurb and a small trailer, and it really looked that good. And plus, I think it's just trying to push it out as fast as they can. So I don't really think they could create something good, especially the original. You can fuck with the original. So, I mean, I don't know. I'm not too amped on it for.
Yeah.
So, my next question is about hip hop. I'm a hip hop fan. If you've been listening to any hip hop, what have you been listening to?
I mean, the most recent stuff I listened to would probably be some of Kool Keith's work, just because he was like always on my radar. But this might be, you know, blasphemous, or people might call me a poser or something. But there's this band Sonido de la Frontera, which is a cumbia band, and the singer Carlos, like, basically is rapping. It's weird, and so I think I'm really drawn towards that because geographically where I'm located and on the planet, that's part of the culture that I'm exposed to on the daily, you know. So I don't think they would consider themselves a hip hop band, but I do think that he is. I think it's very in the hip hop realm, and so Sonido de la Frontera is definitely the thing that's been on my radar lately. And then again, like, trying to keep up with what Keith's doing is pretty fucking weird, man. You know, like, but what else? I don't know. I'm trying to think. Yeah, I don't know. That might be it for me for now.
Kool Keith, I think, has put out two projects in the last month, because I think he put out something with another. One of the tracks was with Ed from my neighborhood in Boston, Massachusetts. He's on it. Sadat, brand new Ian, is on it as well. I think it's only like 5 album, but I'll try to send you the after.
Okay. Yeah, definitely.
And I got two more questions. My next question: favorite song to play live with the Locust, Swing Kids, and uh, Holy Molar.
Um, the Locust probably Book a Bot. I think I just think it's like a strange song for us. That's probably my favorite one to play. Um, it's somewhat complicated, but not too brutal or whatever. Um, Swing Kids, um, probably El Camino Car Crash. That was like the last song we wrote with Eric Allen. I think it was probably our best song, and it meant a lot to him and I don't know. Yeah, so that's just like a sentimental one. Holy Molar, I don't know. I don't even remember doing anything. Like I just remember like every time we played live, like just fully fucking dicking around. Like it was never serious, you know. So um, there was one song that I don't even think I played bass on. That's probably my favorite. I think I yelled a couple times and that was it. And then there was no bass playing. Um, yeah, I don't know. That
Yeah,
was a weird one.
yeah. The Swing Kids, the Disease song with the like, it's almost like free jazz in the beginning of it. That's
Mhm.
like by far my favorite song. I love that. What was the idea of just the free jazz? Was it the drummer kind of jazz drummer?
Yeah, it was the first song we wrote ever, and first song we recorded, and the original recording had sax on it instead of piano, and um, maybe to like show a little bit of the incestuousness, it was recorded at Vinyl Communications, which is Bob from Tit Ranch and whatever. He's also my plumber. It was recorded in his back house, recorded by Matt Anderson from Gravity Records. So it's like pretty cool, weird mix. But I remember we got there and Jose had already been there, and his like supposed friend recorded the saxophone on it, but he had to leave. But I'm pretty sure that they just sampled the sax off of like someone's CD. I don't know who it was, but when we recorded the 7-inch, the same thing sort of happened. We needed an intro to the record, and we didn't really know what to do, so we sampled Cecil Taylor, and we're hoping that we wouldn't get sued. But for us, Cecil Taylor felt like um, he, you know, like he's a he's a very I don't know what the right word is. Like he seems like a punk, you know,
Yeah,
like a punker. Like he fucking does like crazy ass shit, and people were kind of like critics were not always nice to him, and he was just a fucking rad dude, and like kind of had um, a heavy like socially political vibe. I don't know. The guy just was like rad. So we're like, let's sample Cecil Taylor's piano
yeah,
playing on this, and it kind of worked. I don't know. This is like all analog, you know. So it's like let's just put a piece in there and make it. Hopefully, it works. Like it would have been one thing if we were like in a studio now and we could digitally manipulate something. So it's literally just a clip from a Cecil Taylor CD, I think.
yeah. Nice.
So
Yeah, I had to ask because I love that song so much. It's one of my favorites. Um,
thanks.
and my last question: if you had to make a dream team of a hardcore band, what would it be?
Wait, a dream team of what?
Like a hardcore punk, like
Hmm.
power violence band. Who would be in that dream team?
I mean, I think I've been lucky enough to play with a lot of people that I've already wanted to, but there's a few people that I do obsess over drums, and I would love to do something with Mario Rubalcaba on drums. I think that guy's like one of my favorite drummers of all time, who I haven't been able to play with, um, and also too like um, John Reese from Drive Like Jehu would be someone else too, you know.
Yeah,
And at one point there was this talk of John and Gabe Serbian and I jamming and getting Aaron Montaigne from Antioch Arrow to sing.
ooh,
And then it never happened, but like that was a thing that we kind of talked about very
yeah,
briefly. Um, so I would do that, and if Gabe was too busy, I would try to get Mario. But I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I feel like if we got you know, if I organize something and we set out to be a hardcore band, we'd end up sounding like a cumbia band or so, you know, like it was like, it's one of those things, like you can't really say like when, you know, the Locust didn't sound like Crossed Out, like we did, it just, you're gonna say we're gonna do this and then it's gonna be something completely different. So
yeah. And finally, I just wanted to ask if you had anything you wanted to plug that's coming up for you, or people to go and check out something that you got going.
I never really know what to say like that. I mean, I just appreciate the people that are aware of what I'm doing and the people that care. Like I appreciate that, and I don't know, just thanks for supporting 31G. It's a labor of love. It's like a not fun thing to do. So I appreciate when people are supportive of the label and buy the records, and I'm also psyched when I get to play shows occasionally, you know, mid pandemic, and people get to go out and have fun, and like we get to share energy, and that's pretty rad too. So I mean, plugging stuff, just, you know, the Def Club record just came out, like, I don't know, check that out, I guess. And then,
Good, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah, I want to thank you again. I really appreciate it. It's been fun, like I said,
Thanks.
talks, and I just like try to flow organically and stuff like that. Face-to-face thing, podcast, because it just, I don't know, it's just more emotional, and like you get the feel of the other person, and I just have enjoyed like these, really.
Well, I appreciate you taking the time to talk to me and to even give a shit, because really, who gives a shit? You know, like it doesn't, I don't know. I just appreciate that. Like that means a lot. So I thank you very much.
Yeah, I give a shit because, like, you're a legend in the scene. You're a busy man. The hustle is ridiculous. All the bands that you've been in are still in are amazing. I mean, we're talking Locust. A couple of years, it's like bridging on 30 years. Yeah, right? Correct?
Thanks for making me feel old. Yeah, I guess so. It's 25, I think. Yeah, it's been a long time.
Yeah. So, yeah, I just turned 50 this month. So,
Congratulations.
thank you. I don't know if that's a compliment. But thank you once again. And I'll post this on YouTube and send you stuff like that. And I'll send you the Cool Keith release that came out too. Are you on Spotify? Because I can just send you the link.
No, I hate Spotify. No offense. I just don't stream music, and it's like not really that ethical as far as how they pay bands. So I don't really deal with it.
I'll see if
I'm just old. I think I'm too old for Spotify.
Yeah, I think I can find it maybe on Bank, though, which is well worth it.
Okay.
Or YouTube, either way.
Yeah. I mean, I'll listen to stuff on Spotify from time to time, but I don't normally. I don't check, you know, out stuff on Spotify necessarily.
Yeah. All right. Well, have a great night. Thank you again, and let's definitely.
Cool. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you once again, and I'll talk to you soon.
Okay, sounds good.
All right. Bye.
Bye.